All right, I'm out here walking into my swamp, and this is a cattail swamp. So anywhere you can see those cattails, they look like fluffy little tails on those stems out there. Anywhere you see those, it's wet. This area is so wet that I can't drive a four-wheeler, nothing through it. And when I get out here, you'll see how spongy it is. It is just like a super weird ecosystem that has lots of cool critters, and in the water, there's all kinds of organisms that live in there. It's a unique environment for any of the farms I have anyway. But out here in this swamp, before it gets into the super wet stuff, you don't see any cattails here, but these bushes I planted, these are dogwood bushes, and you can see the tips of those dogwood bushes are just nipped right off. I think I planted 800 of them out in this swamp, and almost every one of them has been chewed off like that to the ground in the last 2 years, because animals like to eat them so much. That woody browse stuff is what animals really like. Not food plots, not corn, not beans. Now, here is the swampy area I'm walking into, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, how spongy this is. The whole ground moves when I step on it. It's a super weird area. Like, if I drove my tractor in here, I'd sink feet, but you can see this is like sod grass out here, but I just sponge in it and I don't sink. Then there's this water hole with what, I don't even know what those are. Some sort of plant on top, but you could find all sorts of different little things out in here. I dug up, you see that? You don't sink, but if you step in that mud hole right there, you're going way down. See that? I didn't even put any pressure and my foot's about stuck like quicksand. Out here, you don't sink. In the mud, you're going down. So it's a neat environment. Hopefully you can see that. Now, I gotta get back to school. Came out here to check my traps on lunch and make this video for you guys. I also stopped at my other food plots. Since we're talking about soils and how to improve them, I took some soil samples, and in each field I take 2 or 3 little bits of dirt from each field in different areas to get a good sample, and I send them off to a laboratory, and they test the soil and tell me what the soils are missing. Like if they need lime, if the pH is high or low, kind of like your parents testing your pool. So it's kind of a similar thing of which minerals that we need to put on it. Remember, we just learned about the rock cycle, and all of this dirt, all of this is started as rocks, and the sediments broke apart and eventually broke down, and we have soil. My bad dad joke insert here that I've probably told most of you is, I'm so old, I knew dirt when they were still rocks, when it was still rocks. Smile for the camera. Got a camera right there, and I'm carrying a camera, but there's one on that tree right there too. And it's a dead skunk. But there's another little spot I got. So anyway, this is where I wrestled the cat that I let go on my trap line. So I gotta get back to school or Mr. Kessler might fire me. So I got some cool things I'm doing to make the class a little more entertaining here at these crazy times. And this is the next food plot that I'm gonna test the soil in. These are prairie grasses that I planted, and I'll be burning this for an assignment this year. Kind of a new Ring of Fire video. But I mow a strip around here, so when I burn this, it stays contained. But all of that is also organic matter. That humus, anything breaks down that is a living thing is organic matter. And all of that grass and everything there, when I burn that, that's going to immediately improve the environment. It's the best thing you can do is burning. It's going to immediately improve the environment and put all sorts of different, the ashes and everything is putting all sorts of different things into the ground where I don't have to spend as much money on fertilizer and lime and things like that because I'm burning that. I burnt most of this whole farm last year, but it does take knowing what you're doing, and it's fairly dangerous even when you know what you're doing. It's called a controlled burn. However, I did it once with a guy that works for the state that does controlled burns, and it took about 10 times longer than when I do it. And I realized that's because when I do it, it's probably more of an uncontrolled burn because Mr. Davis is sort of fast and furious in everything he does. So anyway, I'm hot. It's 12:09. I got to get to school in 1 minute, but I'm kind of doing school right now anyway, right? You guys cover for me? All right. You guys aren't there. It's a Wednesday, so it's not like I'm leaving students unattended in the classroom. Had to put that disclaimer in there so I really don't get fired. But I will come back and check these spots on my traps again and finish if I have anything else to add. So, all right, that is all I got. Smell you later.